Joining us via Brazil right now, Eric Albarracin. How are you, Eric?
Yes, good. Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Where are you? In some kind of gym or something?
Yeah, I'm at Team Nogueira, Rio. Just arrived about 2 hours ago from the U.S. I was actually on the same flight as Stephan Bonnar, so it was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah? Did you say anything to him? Did you give him any advice?
Yes, I did give him a piece of good advice. I said, whatever you do, don't piss off Anderson and say something bad about Brazil. Don't say anything about Brazil and don't piss him off. That was the best strategy I could give him.
And what was his response?
He was like, please tell me he's hurt or out of shape.
Now, you've been with Anderson,
but
right?
I hadn't gotten a chance to really work with him so much because I was in Rhode Island and I was training Dave Batista for his MMA debut this past Saturday.
Let's get that out of the way. He won in Rhode Island. He beat a gentleman by the name of Vince Lucero, who is 22-22-1. How would you grade Batista's MMA debut?
Well, you know, the fact that he got his hand raised was the most important thing. So I would probably say a C, just because I think he was very nervous and he kept his hands down. Hands up, chin down. But, he's 0-0. People don't understand that. They keep on comparing him to Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. Those guys have NCAA titles behind them and have hundreds and hundreds of wrestling matches, live, amateur wrestling matches. Whereas, Batista, yes, did pro wrestling, but it's not the same. The fact that he went out there, put his belt on, put him on the line, because really he has a movie coming out in 2 weeks called That Man with the Iron Fist.
Yeah.
If he doesn't perform, there was a lot of pressure. If he doesn't perform, that could possibly affect the movie. So I was very proud of him. And the fact that he got hurt and that he came back, well, I thought that was awesome. In that area, I gave him an A+ in the heart. Being able to get to hurt and overcome adversity.
He said he was very nervous. He mentioned the nerves and whatnot. Obviously, that's understandable. Debut, pay-per-view. You mentioned his background. How nervous was he compared to some of the other guys you've been around? Like, was he just like, was he throwing up back there? I mean, how bad were the nerves before the fight?
Well, he wasn't throwing up, but he did say he couldn't feel his legs.
Wow.
So to me, that's nervous. But he said that, right after that first hit, it all went away. So he recovered, and he got that double leg. That was awesome. I mean, a guy changing levels like that, 260 pounds, hitting a 315-pound wall. It was good to see him get that takedown and finish him.
Do you think he has a future in this, or do you think this is just something he's going to do once or twice and then kind of be gone with it?
In practice, he definitely learns fast, and being that was his first fight, I think that his next fight he'll be twice as good, and twice as more focused and less nervous. So I think he as long as he wants to keep going, I think he can always improve. Keep improving, step by step, crawl before you can walk before you can run. So we'll see. I hope he does. I had a lot of fun with that camp. I mean, that was probably one of the most fun camps we had. Chili Dog, it was like the Ultimate Fighter 1 reunion. Because Josh Rafferty from the Ultimate Fighter 1, he's the one that put it all together. He's the one that actually, like the Wizard of Oz behind David Batista, that actually motivated him to actually start fighting. And he brought us all together. He brought Alex Schoenauer from Tough One, and he brought Stephan Bonnar from Tough One. So it was like an Ultimate Fighter reunion. It was a lot of fun.
So
Go ahead.
You're a member of Team Nogueira. You were there when Stephan was there. Were you there when Stephan got the call to fight Anderson?
Yeah, that was funny because me and him were up till probably like 5 in the morning the night before, and Glover Teixeira or Rampage had just gotten hurt, and we were talking about Glover Teixeira or something as far as why didn't you fight him? He goes, well, I want to fight people have more Twitter followers than me. He wants big names. I said, well, then let's start calling out Rampage, maybe not for real, but for the next fight, you can call out Rampage. And literally 12 hours later, he was fighting Anderson.
So
it was crazy because we were just talking about it earlier in the day.
So at that point, were you like, okay, now I can't talk to you anymore? You're dead to me?
No. We were all professional. He sparred with Dave, and you could tell the difference between him sparring with him when he didn't have to fight Anderson and when he did. He definitely picked up the pace. And then we had a Rob Bradford, which is Rich Franklin's head MMA coach, and he was there, so he kind of went off to the side with Rob, and me and Josh was working with Dave.
And then at some point he left, though, right?
Yeah, he left like a day and a half after.
Okay.
After he found out, went back to Vegas, and I think he said he got about 3 weeks in. 3 weeks of hard training out in Vegas.
Do you think he does better than Forrest Griffin in this fight?
Oh yeah, he'll do better than Forrest Griffin. Having just watched that, I think, he's a big guy. I expect it to be a real good fight. I hope everybody tunes in. It's going to be big. I think, he's 6'4". I think he just said he was 30 pounds over. Don't quote me on that, but he was just, when we got off the airport, I think he told the reporter he was 30 pounds over. Or maybe he started at 30 pounds over, but he's a big boy. So, that poses some adversity for Anderson, since he's pretty large, and I think it's going to be real interesting to watch. I can't wait.
Did reporters greet him when he got off the plane in Brazil? Yes,
Sport TV was there.
Wow.
They started doing interviews with him. So yeah, there was an interview.
Well, I know you just got there, but what's the buzz like? What have you heard about the buzz? Because obviously this is the third UFC Rio event. The first one was obviously a huge deal. The second one wasn't a big deal here in the States, but now you've got Anderson back. What are you sensing? Is this more like the second or the first one? And I should say also the second one wasn't in Rio. So this is the third in Rio, the fourth in Brazil in total. The second one was in January, Jose Aldo. Getting confused here. But what's the buzz like?
Man, the buzz is big. Down here, anytime the UFC's in Rio, it's going to be big. I'm so honored to have 7 fighters from Team Nogueira fighting. All these guys are motivated. We have a team camaraderie going. We're trying to take over the world right now. Team Nogueira versus, the MMA world. Right. We have actually 9 fighters fighting this month, and everybody's excited. Anytime Minotauro fights, anytime Anderson fights, people are going to watch.
Minotauro was supposed to fight in July. He pulled out. What's his health like now?
His health is good. He's in shape. No more pain in his arm. He's actually down there training right now. I should turn it around and show you.
Do it. Show us. Live shot. Oh, that's awesome. That's him right there. Who's he sparring with? Or training?
Vitor Miranda.
Okay.
That's Vitor Miranda, one of our best 185 pounders. So he's not. Hopefully he'll be get into the big show pretty soon. Whether it's Bellator or the UFC.
What kind of sense do you get from Nogueira as far as how much longer he wants to do this for?
Man, he said he wants to go 3 more years.
Wow, 3 more years of this.
Yeah, as long as he stays injury free. I'm on board. I like, and he's always trying to improve. He's brought me down here from America. He's bringing Muay Thai coaches from Thailand. He's trying to make this team the best in the world, and we're on our way to doing that.
So now talk about how you got involved with him and his team, because I first met you. I'm pretty sure it was the first UFC Rio event, 134, and especially I got to spend a few extra days there. I saw you at the gym, and you were telling me about this sort of, not a DVD, but you put together a list of tracks for him with motivational stuff, and you had people talking to him, guys like Anderson, and it really got him motivated for this fight, a fight that a lot of people were actually counting him out for against Brendan Schaub. How did you hook up with Nogueira and now have become one of the top MMA wrestling trainers in the world?
Well, I was actually when I was a captain in the Army, but when my obligation was up, I started coaching at AKA Fresno with Josh Koscheck. which is now called the Dethroned Base Camp. Had a girlfriend, raised her daughter for a while, but then we actually separated, and it wasn't a good separation because I lost parental rights to the baby. So then I didn't want to stay in Fresno anymore, so I wanted to really get out of the country. And I just ran into Rodrigo down in San Diego, and at that point, Rogero was about to fight Tito. That fight never happened, at least at that moment. So one of them got injured, and it got postponed for about 6 months. I went to Brian Stan's grand opening in Atlanta. There was a fellow there named Jucal. I ran a clinic. He liked it. He called up Nogueira, said, "You need to bring this guy down." And that was about a month before UFC Rio 1 last year, and I've just been, ever since I came down here, they kept me down here. So I've been coming back and forth, but it's been great.
And your life has really changed. I remember you telling me about what it's like being there and being on Nogueira's schedule and things like that. I mean, what's life like being in Brazil when you're around these guys, these mega stars in that country?
Yeah, they're pretty famous. Coming from the military, where everything's a little bit on, where early is on time and on time is late. It's a little bit different in Brazil, but I've kind of gotten accustomed to it. They actually say there's Brazilian time and then there's Minotauro time, which is a whole another time that you have to get used to. But it's all good.
But what's Minotauro's time? Like, how late is late for Minotauro? Like, or how late is on time for Minotauro, I should say?
Well, it's not so much. Like, he likes to train sometimes at like 1 a.m.
Wow.
Kind of like a Floyd Mayweather kind of thing. So if it's a personal session, you could be eating dinner at 4 a.m.
Wow.
So it's not that much that he's late missing like the practice. He a lot of times he has his own. We do personal sessions, and that could be anywhere actually. That could be like moving the couches in his living room and just train there, or it could be starting here at 1 a.m. It kind of varies, but it's always interesting. It's fun.
So do you live in Rio now?
I'm living here, and he has 3 apartments right on it's a beach in Brazil called Praia do Pepe. So yeah, when I'm here usually 2 to 3 months at a time. Then I'll go back for a month or 2. Then I come back. So.
And tell me about Wagner Prado, because you were very much, you were the translator when I interviewed him after that tough situation over in Los Angeles. What's his mindset like? We know his story by now, how he got, how he got to meet Minotauro and through the reality show, or the what is it called? Like sort of like a game show or something like that, like the Pit My Ride meets Extreme Home Makeover variety show, I should say, in Brazil. You were with him. What's his mindset like going into this rematch now on his turf in Brazil against Phil Davis?
I think he's more motivated than ever. He's got his defense for the poke down right here, and I think he's gonna do well. We've been training for all situations, and he's motivated. He wants to get that victory, especially he has a baby on the way.
Oh.
So a little bit of extra motivation for him. Fabio Maldonado's got a baby on the way. So he's one of the co-main events. He's fighting Glover Teixeira. So big things happening down here.
Hey, Stephan Bonnar has a baby on the way. A lot of babies popping up on this card.
Yeah, and Stephan Bonnar, yep. I remember thinking about that when he got that fight. I think the baby's going to be born next week.
And I love this. You played me some of this sort of mixtape that you had for Big Nog with the motivational stuff, and that's all part of your Champion by Design program. For those that don't know about it, what exactly is it?
Yeah, I actually got Anderson, Junior Dos Santos, and some of the Tino Guerrero fighters that he's motivated, and they just. I wanted to record their voice, and I recorded their voice, and they gave him positive reinforcement and expressed how he's a natural leader to them, and he's their motivation, and just positive reinforcement and good luck. And I put it to some of his favorite songs, and even like his the theme song to his favorite cartoon growing up, which was like Thundercats. And I threw in some Rocky themes, some Eye of the Tiger, and some other stuff like to reiterate, some wrestling terminology and steps to wrestling moves to have it stick in his head. So he really liked it. So he said it really helped him, and actually did the same for Dave Bautista. And he said the biggest thing with Dave was I said you got to have confidence in that double leg, and he even mentioned that in his post interview that it was stuck in his head that he remembered that. Confidence in that double leg, and Minotauro when he fought Brendan Schaub, he said he had some extra motivation as well.
How often do you put together these tapes?
Usually I try to get it before every big fight they have. So
wow,
I have to work on Minotauro. I don't know if I can get all 7 because we have 7 fighters on Saturday. And actually, Patricky Pitbull's fighting in Bellator in the main event against Eddie Alvarez. So we're hoping to send Eddie Alvarez, out of Bellator with a loss.
Wow. This is unbelievable. What a huge weekend for you guys. And I love the idea of those tapes. And obviously they seem to, like, at first, was the first one that you did for Minotauro the 134 one? Like, did he know this was coming? And if not, how did he react to something like that? Because that's a very thoughtful thing to give someone before a big fight.
No, he didn't know it was coming. Not at all. He was surprised. He liked it. I've done it for a couple people, and some of them cry.
Yeah.
I try to think of it like that show, like This Is Your Life, because sometimes I'll even go back and like find out who their like high school teacher or their first coach is or something. And I did one for Patricky Pitbull, and I got his 4-year-old daughter to say something, and he was crying in the locker room.
Wow.
I'm not trying to make them cry. I'm trying to get them motivated, but sometimes, hopefully it's tears of motivation, I guess.
That's amazing. I love it. I'd probably cry myself, to be honest. Eric, great stuff. Really, really appreciate the time, especially I know that you just landed in Brazil just a couple hours ago. Good luck this weekend in Bellator and the UFC. Where can people learn more about Eric Albarracin? Am I saying it correctly? Am I rolling the R's?
Yeah, my Twitter is at CPTDAS Americas. It stands for Captain of the Americas, but in Portuguese it's Capital das Américas.
Oh, I like it.
And then I'm on Facebook.
I like it.
Yeah, I was a captain in the Army, so when I came down here, they started calling me Captain America. And then the longer I stayed down here, it got upgraded to Capital das Américas. So that's my Twitter name now.
Awesome. Well, good luck to you.
You coming down?
What's that?
When are you gonna come?
I will
down
be there.
here?
I leave tomorrow night. I get there Wednesday morning. So please do look out for me and make sure that I'm okay over there. All right.
Yeah, well, man, rather make sure you don't get the Boa Noche Cinderella.
What? What is that?
That's when they slip something in your drink, and then you're out. You wake up
yes, the Good Night Irene, yes.
Then your kids missing, your wallet missing.
Yes.
I'm just joking. You won't find that where you're staying, in Barra de Tijuca, nice neighborhood.
All right, good to know. Thank you so much, Eric. Good luck to you, and I'll see you in a couple of days in Rio.
Awesome, Ariel Helwani. Tune in October 13th. Team Nogueira, UFC Rio 3.
There you go. Eric Albarracin, the coach for Team Nogueira, also Team Batista, as he mentioned, a man of with many students, and he's got a big weekend ahead of him at UFC Rio number 3, as he's calling it, UFC 153 here in the United States. So we appreciate the time there, and pretty cool shot of Big Nog just training in the cage. I like that. I like that very much.